I'm sorry, Mr. Shook to you. Sorry, I couldn't do it, Mr. Z. I tried listening to that guy for 10 minutes. Bro, I just can't. So, two reasons why I'm a little bit late. Oh, let's what am I doing? Well, I didn't even really do my intro. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. I am sorry for my tardiness. Two reasons, got caught up with work. Second reason, I wanted to give you guys enough time to kind of listen a little bit to Themis and this Tiff character speak. It gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. For those of you, I didn't even give y'all enough time. Oh, it continuously gets worse, right? So I am doing the Lord's work apparently. I was sent this by the elder BGS, and you don't defy the elder. So I you know pretty much when your elders, when your peoples, your parents, they kind of give you that suggestion like, hey, you should do this, but it's really not a suggestion, they're telling you to do it. So BGS gave me one of those. Right? Hey, Z, you should, I'm sending you this, you should check it out. And it's one of those like, check it out but say something about it. Right? So BGS gave me one of those suggestions, not so much suggestions. And I'll oblige because I actually find this quite interesting. And it's this educator, or at least she works in education. I didn't get to hear from where. She might have said it and I missed it. And her name is Tiff, at least on this. From what I gathered, I might be getting her name wrong, but from what I gathered, her name was Tiff, or is Tiff, better yet. And this is on Themis's channel, Themis in Thought. Oh boy. And this lady, grown adult woman, is essentially advocating for women, or girls better yet, to be able to hit boys, and for women to be able to hit men, and men and boys not respond back in kind. Because once again, boys are stronger, men are stronger, and boys need to be taught at an early age. I want y'all to understand what this lady is saying. She's being very clear. Side note, this is why I say let them talk. She is being like excruciatingly clear, like painfully obvious. No, she's not saying men initiate DV. She's not saying boys initiate hits. She's saying that we need to raise our boys to not hit back. I want to be very clear what she's saying. Not hit back. Not that they initiate the violence, but not to respond, to walk away. She says this very clearly. We need to raise our boys because we need to get this early. What she's saying is we need to get this early so that when they do become men and women, and she, like, it's super interesting, right? It's super. Y'all, give me a second, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second. I am so sorry about that, you guys. Work related, work related. That was work related phone call, and it was important. It was. Well, it is important. Oh boy. Okay. On that note, all right, let's back to the topic at hand. So the Miss Tiff is saying very boldly and bluntly to raise our sons at an early age and not to respond back to to girls' violence in kind. And she uses the girls are weaker, girls are gonna have certain situations come up, girls go through their cycle, girls are more emotional, and she stresses that all the way up until obviously when girls become women as adults. And what she's saying is that we need to raise our boys to keep their hands to themselves regardless of how girls and women interact with them. She is very bold, very blunt, and she strips any pretense, any idea of plausible deniability, anything that you have where you would give her any wiggle room, or maybe we're misinterpreting what she says. No, she strips all of that away. She is very bold in what she is saying, right? She is very bold in what she is saying. And what she is saying is we need to raise our daughters, raise our sons to keep their hands to themselves regardless of what women do. So for all of you that have seen women wail on men and men do nothing about it, for all of us that have seen women hit men with cars, for the past few years, we've been seeing women over and over again use their vehicle as a weapon and wait until their ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever, husband is walking through a parking lot and try to roll him over with a car, walking down the street, trying to hit him with a car. For all of us that have been witness to that, on the interwebs for the past few years, this is the type of idea that pushes that forward. Wow. So we're in full blown hyena mode. We are in full blown raise your sons to take this abuse. And Themis of all people is saying, yeah, I'm not going to tell men to hit women, but I am just not going to condone women being able to hit men. And the lady always says, but when he says, yeah, let's raise our daughters to keep their hands to themselves and raise our sons to keep their hands to themselves. And the lady continues to say, but this is the real world and people get into fights, right? People get into fights at bars, people get into fights at schools, and we need to raise our sons to keep their hands to themselves, period. Now, initially, when she started off with this conversation, the women were against her. Many of the women in the comments were against her. Many of them were telling us, shut up, right? Like you're exposing us, you're telling our secrets, you're telling how we really feel. Like that was the sentiment, right? Stop talking. But all she had to do, oh, y'all know it's coming. All she had to do was say, yeah, because the white folks don't condone their sons hitting their daughters no matter what. The Latinos don't condone their sons hitting their daughters no matter what. They raise their sons. You keep your hands to yourself no matter what. And once she said that, oh yeah, all those women started agreeing. I kind of see where she's coming from. Themis, you're the one who doesn't get it. I see where she's coming from, right? The women are allowing their sons to wail on girls. So if it's like if a girl hits a man and then the man just starts wailing on her. So the biggest leap isn't the response back to the physical assault. The biggest leap, the biggest leap isn't going from maybe a verbal situation to a physical assault. No, that's not the biggest leap. The biggest leap is the response back to the physical assault. This is why Mr. Z says you got to love the internet. The internet will expose us all. This is also why I say you got to let them talk. Just let them talk. You let them talk long enough, and the arrogance, they're not going to be able to hold. They're not going to be able to stop. They're not going to be able to hold it. They can't hold it. Their contempt of you, them wanting to regulate you, they can't control it anymore. They're a glutton for your punishment. The unforgivable sin of being born black and male, right? You know, when a Kai Gurley was killed by Peter Liang, on Democracy Now, was it Real News Network or was it Democracy Now? I want to say it was Democracy Now with Amy Goodman. She had a few people on, and it was this Asian guy that was an apologist. It was also an Asian woman that was kind of, I the best way to say it was on a Kai Gurley side, but maybe not. She just was like, yeah, this is wrong on so many levels. And the Asian man that was defending Peter Liang, essentially, when you boil down everything he was saying, essentially what it came down to is the white cops get to do it. Why can't we? Right? Essentially, the white cops get away with murdering black people. Why can't Asians get away with murdering black people? Right? Now, the way he was trying to couch it was, we need to not overreact because it's a person of color that's killing this black person, right? So the white cops, we don't throw the book at them when they kill black people. I don't want us to do it to this Asian cop because he's Asian. But essentially what it came down to was Asian cops need to get away with killing black people also. What does this have to do with the topic at hand? Essentially, what black women are now attempting to say, it seems, to the state is, why can't we do it too? If white men get away with beating up on black men and harming black men, and if white women get to play damsel in distress in the presence of black men and potentially get black men killed, black boys killed, right? Why can't black women? Why can't black women proclaim their femininity and claim damsel in distress and potentially have a black man harmed, right? A black boy harmed. Why can't black girls and black women physically assault black men just because they're black? Excuse me, said that wrong. Why can't black girls and black women physically assault black boys and black men and get away with it? That's as American as American pie. And aren't black girls and black women American? This is what this particular black woman was arguing. Now, to say there wasn't any pushback in the comments from black women would be a lie. There were black women pushing back, oh no, they're not going for it. But I would make the argument that most black women were in agreement with this Tiff character. Right? They were in agreement. Huh. We are in full blown. Now we want to be able to engage in open violence against black men, black boys, black males. Because if you're saying to raise our sons from elementary school to keep their hands to themselves, regardless of what the black girls do to them, then what you're saying is we are raising our sons to be pushovers for black girls and black women, for black females, right? And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat, now F that. They want to abuse people and wrap it in misandry? Yes. As someone who's gone through abuse, I can say that mindset is dangerous as F. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. These particular people, right? And now let's not be too obtuse. This is not all black women. I would argue on this respect, maybe not most black women if she's not the one, right? Right? It's definitely not all black women, but maybe not even most black women if she's not the one in the altercation with you, right? But yeah, these particular black women like Miss Tiff, hopefully I'm getting her name correctly, Yeah, she called in the Themis, and she was serious. And just like Dylan Roof made sure to tell everyone, I will represent myself because I don't want you to give me plausible deniability. No, I am not mentally deranged. No, I know left from right. Yes, I know right from wrong. Right? No, I don't have any mental or psychological conditions. Yes, I know what I'm doing. I did it on purpose. That is the same thing Miss Tiff engaged in. Yes, I know what I'm saying. Yes, I'm saying it on purpose. Right? There's not anything psychologically wrong with me. And yes, I work in the education field. Right? That is what Miss Tiff was engaging in. And the reason why this matters is because now you see what for many the end goal was and what it always was. Now, of course, they make the excuse, just males are physically stronger and they need to be the ones to show restraint. And Tiff says, we have to let them know that, no matter what, they're the ones who's going to be hauled off to prison. So they've gone full blown Karen, right? A sinister Karen. No matter what, I win, you lose because you're a black man. And I will exploit the fact that you're a black man in this system, right? No matter what, you're a black man. You are a black male, even for the black boys, right? And because the system will most likely defer to me, you will be told to keep your hands to yourself, regardless of what I do, right? And that's the beautiful part. Regardless of what I do. So yeah, we have black women now full blown saying it. Eat that, take that hit, and the Miss Tiff was literally saying that. Walk away regardless, and trying to minimize what she's saying by saying, yeah, if she pops you, you know, and that's what and essentially what Tiff was saying is that's just what women do. That's just what women do, right? That's just what black women do. Black women respond to words not just negatively, but with violence. That's what women do, right? So now you know what some of your daughters are being taught in school. You wonder why your daughters and your sons act the way they do, why they speak the way they do, right? You have adult women in the education system who are advocating for you to raise your sons to eat violence from women, from girls and from women, from females. Absolute insanity, right? Absolute and total insanity. And she means it. And initially, many of the chat room thought she was trolling, right? The way that the chat room was speaking is as if there's no way she's not trolling. Nah, she means it. She means it, right? And she made sure to let you know now she means it. And she said it from about the second she jumped. As a matter of fact, she said it in the comments and then she jumped in the chat on the live to say it to Themis. And she monopolized the rest of the call for the most part saying that. raise your sons, socialize your sons to eat violence from women. And the argument always comes down to it's not the same for men. It's not the same when men do it, right? It's not the same when men do it. How does that help women? It doesn't, right? It doesn't. The reason why you hear Mr. Z sounds a little bit mellow because we're there now. You know, abort my black male babies, abort black males is about the highest we've gotten. That's the most intense the conversation has been for a while, right? It's this intense now. So yeah. And Detroit, thank you for the super chat. Y'all give me a second. Let's pause right here for a second. Let's read this. And Detroit, thank you for the super chat. And Detroit says, back in middle slash high school, I seen more black women abuse. Oh, well, give me a second. Light turn green. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get to a place where I can read this. All right. Give me 1 second. Oh boy. And Detroit says, back in middle school, I seen more black women abusive on the males more than men. They are squad. They are squad into like a gang, so they love to bully somebody else than whites. If you ask me, all the damn time, bro. It, you know, I am not about, you know, abuse or physical abuse, but we do have to raise our daughters to keep their themselves keep their hands to themselves. I'm sorry. We have to raise our daughters to keep their hands to themselves. And much of the reason why they're not is because they do not fear repercussions. They do not fear the reprisal of men, of boys. And they've been raised that those are not real men or real boys if those men respond, if those boys respond, if those males respond, because that's not what a man would do, right? Hmm. Right. So we are a full blown um let me hit you and you eat that, right? Allow me to. You are not a real man unless you could take these lefts and rights. Unless you allow me to pummel you. If you as a black man don't allow black women to pummel you because it's because of whatever, and then I'm only using the ideas that came out of Miss Tiff, right? It's that time of the month. Mr. Z doesn't even speak like that, right? Is it your period? That's why you acting like that. Yeah, but Miss, you know, yeah, it should be okay for women and girls. Hmm. It should be okay for women and girls to hit you. And Oliver the Gray says equal rights, right? Greater than, less than, equal hands. Well, he said greater than and less than, yeah, equal hands. Yeah. And this is frightening, right? This is frightening to be this bold. It's the just the audacity, just the sheer audacity to say this bold with your chest out, raise your sons, and not to respond back. Pretty much, let's be honest, it's pretty much at all, right? Hmm. I'm sorry for keep on pausing you guys because I'm like, I know it's like, wait, Mrs. You pausing an extra long time. It's really like, okay, so how's this supposed to work? Your sons and your daughters are in school. They get into an argument about something. Your daughter hits your son, and your sons are always supposed to go and find the nearest adult who will also condone it, right? And this way, men are taught, boys are taught as they get older to always go seek the help of authorities who will still treat the girls with preferential treatment because we got to play this up at scale, right? Hmm. Yeah. And the end goal for this is what? Further colonializing black boys and black men, black males, right? Is that the end goal? Goal, excuse me, is that the end goal? This young lady said, well, lady said this boldly and told you she works in education and tried to gaslight whoever was listening by saying, well, she never sees white and Latina women slapping each other. I mean, giving their spouse a high five because the son essentially was manhandled. Hmm, hmm. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry about that, you guys. It's okay. So as often as Themis said, we need to raise our daughters not to hit the boys, right? No one should be hitting anyone, right? We should not condone any type of physical violence, right? And every time Themis got there, Miss Tiff would respond, but we live in the real world, and women are a little bit more emotional, and women are a little bit more sensitive, and women are more, you know, apparent, and all of this other thing. That's a whole lot to be doing, like if you work two jobs, right? That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. You work two jobs, you get into an altercation with someone, and then it's a woman, and then it's okay for her to do that. It's okay for her to hit. It's okay for this DV, and you just got to eat that. Let's rewind 20 years. You're in elementary school or middle school, and it's okay for a little girl to hit you, and you're supposed to go seek the authorities. What? Who condoned this? And why is this okay? Right? And Themis said it himself, like this is not okay. This is not okay. Now, it's Themis. It's Themis. But why is this okay? Now, once again, I have to make space for us not allowing this to be, this is not most black women. This is not all black women, right? Because we everybody knows how this turns out, right? Everyone knows how this turns out. And for women with sons, you already know these little girls are going to pummel your sons. And your sons are going to be told just to eat that because you're physically stronger. And women are on their cycle. These girls are on their cycle. So you just take that. And as he gets older, okay, this woman is on her cycle, or she's going through a hard time at work, or your baby daddy number two, or your boyfriend, and baby daddy done annoyed her, so now you got to eat this. So we are literally switching the roles. So she comes home from a hard day of work, stressed out, and she kicks the dog, right? And the food isn't on the table, so she gets to wail on you now, right? Huh? She gets to wail on you now. Hmm. These are the people, everyone. And oh, we're not done yet. A young lady comes in. Was it Keisha? Was her name Keisha? Funny enough, I think her name was Keisha. She backs up Tiff. Oliver the Gray says, Biggs, you're gone too far. You're gone too far, Biggs. You're gone too far. You shot my bitch. uh, but so this Keisha young woman, if I'm getting her name correct, right? She comes on and she backs. Excuse me, the Keisha. Yes, the Keisha young lady comes on and backs Tiff, right? She backs Tiff and she gives hypotheticals and examples and essentially say, yeah, boys should be taught to show restraint simply because you do more damage. Well, let's. So, Mr. Z is 5'9". He's not particularly a big guy. If I see a brother who clearly is bigger than me and clearly I can see, he's stronger than me, why would I initiate any type of physical altercation with this guy? And then it goes the wrong way for me. And then I claim, well, he should have been the one to show restraint because he knows he's bigger than me. What? I know he's bigger than me. I know he's stronger than me. Why didn't I show restraint? Excuse me. Why didn't I show restraint initially? Right? So for women like Miss Tiff and Miss Keisha, what they're saying is that men should always, because I guess they're saying God is even sexist now, or the universe, or somehow whoever decided that men would be gifted with 25, 30% more physical, strength than women, how this is not fair. So we need to raise the, you know, the men, excuse me, wrong. We need to raise the boys to keep their hands to themselves so that as they get older and as they become men, they know better. And Miss Tiff had a major issue with the mothers. What Miss Tiff was saying is that the mothers are raising sons. If someone hits you, you hit them back. That includes the girls. And what Miss Tiff is saying is that we should raise them. The exception is the girls, because boys are using, uh, of a, you know, boys are using girls hitting them as an excuse to pummel these girls. That's what was being said in the comments. I get what she's saying. You know, they use it as an excuse to physically abuse the girls. This is their logic. Huh. Yeah. So someone tell Mr. Z, where do we go from here? Right? With women fully advocating to raise your sons to essentially handcuff themselves, keep their hands behind their right, walk around with cuffs on, keep their hands behind their back, allow women and girls to take off their anger and their rage and their resentment about life. You use men and boys as punching bags and tell men to eat that because that's how you show that you're a gentleman. Black Uru, I'm not gonna read that out loud. I ain't gonna read that out loud. Black Uru. But yes, and he was there doing his half-assed job of attempting to defend, you know, his statement, which is, yeah, this is a no-go. And he said it himself, like, I'm not gonna condone this. What you're asking me to do is to tell men to just eat that, eat whatever physical violence women dish out. And even Themis was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go that far, right? I'm just not. And they are the Themises of the world are deserving of this. I agree with you on that, Black. But what world do we live in where women boldly say that to you? We're not talking about you know, yeah. What world are we in where this is like it's okay to say this? And Most High's Armory says they also abuse their sons. Of course. This is why when he's 13, he catches the belt, and she's afraid for her life, right? This is why he stops that spanking midair, right? Huh. We should allow our boys to be hit by our girls because that's how we nip in the bud DV rates. Hmm. Hmm. So on that note, hey, so we just gonna be so let's get this right. These particular women feel as if they can date out and be disrespectful about it because black men do it. They feel like they should be able to use your likeness and your image after you are murdered by the state to advance their causes. They also think that they should be able to physically assault you and you do nothing about it or you don't respond in kind because then, of course, you're being a toxic man. They can do all of this. Hmm. Yeah. So insulting your image, yes. Um, Using your image after someone is slain, black man is slain, for the advancement of everybody in the black community other than straight black men, yes. Um, going around the world insulting you, yes. Pretty much saying you're a lower class human being because you're not white collar of some sort, yes. And now advocating for the ability to physically assault you and essentially have no reprisal. Yes. Hmm. All because you're supposedly physically stronger. Well, you're just not supposed. You are physically stronger. And so you should be able to take, well, okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Women speak more. Women speak more. Women tend to have a larger vocabulary. Women speak more. Women are more expressive verbally. So should we tell women to shut the hell up forever? Right? If men are physically stronger and so men should show restraint. I mean, excuse me, I don't know why I want to say restraint. Restraint, right? If men are physically stronger and they are told to show restraint, then should women be told to show restraint verbally? Maybe, possibly, kind of. No. Uh, why not? Right. Hmm. Yep. Toy said, "Yep." Should women and girls be told to show restraint? Uh, Again, restraint verbally, because that might be a conversation to be had. That might be a conversation to be had. I keep my hands to myself. You shut the hell up. Sounds pretty. Mrs. Z might be willing to sign on a dotted line for that one. You don't nag. I keep my hands to myself. Yeah, yeah, right. Huh. But what about outside of your intimate partner or some type of, intimate relationship? Random women, right? Random women that you may come into contact with at a grocery store or something along those lines. Female coworkers and whatnot. Huh. And Black Uru says he should have asked her what would be the long-term consequences of allowing all black female children to pummel all black male children. What does that do to both women and men? Solipsism, Black Uru. Not thinking that far. Don't care. Maybe actually think that'll let men know their place, right? That'll let men know their place. It doesn't matter if you're physically stronger. I don't even want to have to call the state to regulate you. I want you to know your place, right? Hmm. Yeah. So just and Gold P, thank you for the super chat. Pause for the cause. Y'all already know. Um, Gold P was the first person to suggest I start my channel, and I did eventually, right? So y'all send all y'all hate mail. Y'all know I always say I'm gonna remind y'all. Y'all send all y'all hate mail to Gold P, right? And Gold Professor says, I'm an equal opportunity employer, and employer is in quotes. I'm gonna leave that right there. Look, this reminds me of The View when was it the Jay-Z Salon situation, or was it the Ray Rice situation? I can't remember what situation what it was. Oh no, no, and the situation on the train in New York. Um, I think it was one of those situations where they got into a serious back and forth about women keeping their hands to themselves because all of these videos showed women initiating violence against men. More importantly, parked cars. I mean, I said parked cars. I'm looking at parked car. That's why I said parked car. I'm sorry, everybody. So, the train in New York, that one right there, that was the conversation that I think sparked a lot of this women initiating violence against men outside of intimate relationships, right? Women initiating violence against men outside of um relationships and keeping your hands to yourself. And I think it was Whoopi Goldberg, if I'm not mistaken, that continued to say, "I'm not. Everybody needs to keep their hands to themselves. Nobody should be hitting nobody." But the other women on The View had a difficult time dealing with what Whoopi Goldberg was saying, right? Because really, the argument is we should be able to hit you. You're the one that's defective, not me, right? You are the one that's defective, not me. Isn't that the argument? Huh. And that's what they want to reserve the right to punish you being male. That's all. And Mr. Shook, to you, thank you for the super sticker that will show up. There we go. Right. And Mr. Shook to you says, "Are you talking about the infamous 8 Ball jacket video? That is the one. That is the one." Right. I'm not gonna be on too long, you guys. I am dozing off. I am in a park space, so I'm not driving sleepy for those of you that are concerned. But Mr. Z is, a bit tired. But this subject definitely let's liven up the situation. This topic definitely needed some, what's the word I'm looking for? A good look over and some commentary, because to have a woman boldly say we need to raise our sons to restrain themselves when women and girls are physically attacking them, to boldly say it, and to make sure to say we need to raise our sons to keep their hands to themselves when and not hit back, when she continuously says that and make no apologies about it and leave no room for interpretation, right? And strips away any possibility of misconstruing anything, right? She takes away any plausible deniability. When this woman, Tiff, clearly says what she says, now what? Right? Now what? Right? So you just throw that in the pot with more conversation from people, black women, telling you, hey, this is what it is. You're not of our class, and we get to hit you and get away with it. Right? Now, once again, I don't know if this is most black women. This is not all black women. She was getting some pushback in the comments for that Themis video. She was getting some real pushback in that comment from black women. But once again, what happens when you are beyond reproach? When the men are told to stay out of the way of the women. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. And this is, I guess, this is what passes for commentary on the other side. This is what passes for enlightened speech. What do you? I don't even know what. Where do you put this? What? How do you categorize this? And oh, let's not forget that Miss Tiff was speaking about, it's gonna turn out bad for the men anyway because they're the ones that's most likely to go to jail. So I guess what, she's gonna weaponize her white woman tears, the crocodile tears now. So you initiate, and this is why the DV rate is what it is. And we know that women initiate DV at higher rates than the men. Exhibit a woman straight up saying we need to raise our boys to keep their hands to themselves in response to physical assault. Hmm. And I have to hurry up, you guys, before it before I get inside and get a two piece, right? And then I'm told, hey, eat that. Mr. Z gonna be walking around here with a black eye and be told to eat that and keep your hands to yourself. And this is how you show how gentlemanly you are, right? Yeah, these people are that bold, everyone. And remember, somewhere in the education field, somewhere in the education field, right? Condoning DV. Not sorry, not DV, but kind of. D. Scott said with a black eye and plum wine. Now I'll be bringing her the plum wine. Remember, she had to exert energy to do that. That's my way of apologizing. And skinny jeans. Well, the way these people be sounding, I won't have any jeans on, and I'll be bent over. The way these people be sounding, right? They want to go full on role reversal. The way these people sound, right? Absolute absolute insanity, right? And Themis kept on trying to give her an out. He spent damn near an hour trying to give her an out, and she didn't want it. No, tell your boys to raise your sons. And I'm blaming black women for this. And the Miss Tiff kept on saying it. I'm blaming black mothers for this because y'all tell them that if someone hit them back. No, with the exception of the girls, with the exception of women. Tell them to keep their hands to themselves because if anything, they're going to be the ones that go to jail anyway. They're going to have to be the ones that suffer anyway. So just walk away. And she said, walk away, take that hit. That's a really good question, Gold P. And Gold P says, so it's cool if we call the police on her and put her in jail. And I mean, that wasn't really that that didn't come up as much as it is the children. So the boys need to go find the authorities, wherever they are. But they don't really mean that. What they really mean is just take that hit. Don't even get any of the your teachers or principal or security involved. Just eat that, take that hit. And exactly, and but excuse me. Black Uru says, if you got the money, get your sons out of public schools. The Tiffany reigns supreme there. Yeah, yeah. And even the other women in the comments were like, "Yo, she's in education, right?" Better you says, please do an open panel discussion on this. Um, okay, let's see. I am out of town this weekend, so let's try. I'm on the road on Friday. Maybe Thursday. Maybe not. I'm going to shoot. You know what? Maybe tonight. Mm, we'll see. I'll give a fair warning. I'll post something up, you know, so that people can see way in advance. But everything's gonna be up in the air for the next few days for me, right? So better you, I will definitely try, and I want to hear people's stories because you know, um, this is a thing, and we understand that women initiate DV, particularly in the black community, right? And Detroit said, "Are you driving?" No, I'm not driving right now. I am still right now. I'm a I am in a park space. I only have to drive like 30 seconds to get to the front door, right? I'm just in a better place with the signal. That's all for signal, you know. Because when I'm in front of the house, it doesn't. Yeah, the signal is choppy. So intimate partner violence, yes, right. IPV. And Mr. Shug to you says, my friend broke it off with a young lady to try to work it out. The woman, her, her and 5 kids with, oh, he had 5 kids with her, and she stabbed him in the chest. Wow. For that decision, missing his heart by centimeters. She never served a day in jail. Wow. Yeah, yeah, let's not do that. And there were, early Tommy blog talk days, he covered, so as a matter of fact, early YouTube Tommy days, he had so many Tommy had so many stories. Tommy Sotomayor had you know um girlfriend killing boyfriend because he didn't get her a Valentine's Day gift that she appreciated. um Fiance kills um fiance literally the morning before the wedding because they got into an argument about breakfast. Just so story after story, right? Just story after story. And then you could type into YouTube when men hit back, right? And there's video after video, white, black, Latino, Asian, just women hitting men, men hitting back. And then almost in all the videos where there's people around, the people come to her rescue. Nobody said anything or did anything when she struck him, right? Yeah. So let's just raise our sons to eat that, as if we're kind of aren't already. Yikes, Mr. Z. As if we're not already kind of raising our sons to eat those hits, you know? And doesn't this fly? See, this flies in the face of feminism also. Once again, if you said egalitarianism and equality, you got to know what that comes with. Now, Mr. Z knows that they're being hypocritical. Like y'all know Mr. Z knows, but I always have to say, just even if it's an exercise in just being rhetorical, right? Just being rhetorical. Um, yeah, what they say, you got to take the good with the bad. Yeah, right. Who said it earlier? Was it you, Mr. Shit to you? That said you could only take 10 minutes. Well, no one is backing you up, and no one says, "OMG, I only got 10 minutes of that guy and can't do it." Especially after scanning the comments. Look, Mr. Shit to you, you have company. There go Mr. Shook to you comment earlier. Sorry, I couldn't do it, Z. I tried to listen to that guy for 10 minutes, bro. I just can't. you know. And on that note, we're at an hour. Like I said, Mr. Z is a bit tired. Got to go inside and do my boyfriend thing, and then you know go take a shower and sleep. I'm sorry y'all didn't get the super energetic Mr. Z right now. I am trying to stay away from any type of like energy drinks or any coffee or anything so that the trip I have to make when I actually do drink something, it actually hits. Right. So I'm borderline on I am straight Pookie right now, like real Pookie from New Jack, like going through withdrawals Pookie, going through caffeine withdrawals Pookie. Right. I'm scratching my neck, looking like Dave Chappelle on the Coke episode, right? Right. So the withdrawal syndromes, everyone. Caffeine withdrawal. Right. So, all right, everyone. On that note, let's pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We will pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. So y'all don't sound like these people. These people are weird. These people are. Oh my God. What did I watch? And I watched the whole thing, and it just kept on getting worse. Oh, this one I can't put on all black women. I can't, because in the comments there were black women like hell no, y'all ain't gonna be being on my son. Right? Oh, Dr. Thunder, don't make me have to respond. And Dr. Thunder says, I'm talking about divestors today. Okay, I'm gonna be listening in. I'm gonna try to listen in as long as I can, you know. And I guess I'll pause, no homo. I guess I'll be falling asleep to the smooth jazz voice of Dr. Thunder. Right? So yeah, like yeah, I guess let's see. Let's see if it's definitely something I might respond to. Oh man, divestors are another gift that keeps on giving. They just won't stop. Right? It just won't. Detroit says I drove about 8 hours a day without energy drinks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a bad habit, and it's really because of those like 16-hour days that I'm pulling. Right. I can go a little while without them, and then it's one of those things that when it's the relapse, it's literally drugs. It literally is relapse everything, right? So, you know, yeah. And you go a couple of weeks and you're like, yeah, I could do it, and then you're like, just buy one for just the sake of it, and then 3 weeks later, right? And so, on that note, let's end it out. Dr. Thunder is about to start up his stream. And y'all really actually stay away from these people. Like this is like actually really frightening, right? And we as men, we know the restraint that we have to like have not to respond. But then when we want when you have women that think like it's their God-given right to be able to physically abuse you, and then you should, by order or decree of I don't know God or just a black woman, that you should show restraint and know your place, which is under them. Yeah, nah. Yeah, exactly, right? Better you alpha your way out. Well, I need to alpha my way through not drinking anything, with caffeine, and y'all need to alpha y'all way through these licks, right? And Emerald Edge says you should reduce the amount of those. I really do. Yeah, yeah. At one point, it was really bad. I actually got really good. It was like two monsters a day. I went all the way down to one, and then zero, and then So this is just another, you know, don't drink any and for the next couple days, and the withdrawal, the initial withdrawal is really like I don't do drugs, so I don't. I'm comparing it to drugs because like movies and stuff, but I don't do drugs, so you know. Although you can make the argument that the monster is a drug, so there you go. Right? Pause. Sounded weird. Anyway, on that note, right? And Dr. Thunder said guilty as charged here. All right. I'm not so me and Dr. Thunder in the slammer. Right? D, yeah, I gotta end it out, you guys. D Scott is killing me. D Scott said, offer your way through Keisha's combos. Hey, Ed, where you at? There we go. That is an Ed comment if I ever did hear one. Keisha's combos. How you get Keisha's combos? If that's not an Ed type comment, Ed, right? D Scott, that's an Ed type comment right there. Right? Indigo, I'm literally ending it out. Right? Uh And Mr. Suge said, I love my coffee too. Just cut out the sugar. Yeah, man. Man. And I suspect those monsters are what's giving me this gut. I'll put money that's really what's doing it. Right? So, all right, you guys. On that note, y'all see how clear and open Mr. Z is? Right? Meanwhile, these people are telling you to abort black male sons and they're not showing their face. I mean, Cynthia G does. I mean, clearly that lady don't give a hell. Yeah. But everybody else, right? And D Scott said bob and weave, the bobs and weaves. Look, they really, really are trying to advocate. And like she was serious. She was not being it almost looked to the point where you thought she was an agent for a little while. Like she saw like, is this a black like are we now hiring black women to do our bidding? Like making them seem so obtuse that and seem so whimsical that other black women are like, yeah, I don't want to be associated with that. That's just way too far. Right? It's almost as if she was like a black manosphere agent, how bold she was being with it. Right? So on that note, let me get out of here. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right, everyone. Because I have to go, do my morning boyfriend routine, and I only got a couple minutes. All right, everybody. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We will pause right there. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. All right, everyone. Y'all go check out Dr. Thunder. Mr. Z out. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day.